So this is the Topfab TF500, a true 5-axis desktop CNC machine that's made for virtually everyone to run right at home. By saying everyone, I mean this machine fixes some of the biggest headaches people keep asking about desktop 5-axis CNCs. Is it a real synchronized 5-axis instead of fake 3+2 indexing? Is the system software free with no hidden monthly subscription? What's its work envelope? And most importantly, can this brand be trusted to deliver reliable products? Thankfully, many of these concerns get solved thanks to its user-oriented design. All those tricky pain points on old school 3-axis gear, manual tool swap, tedious manual workpiece alignment, complicated CAD setup, difficult model designing, and manual toolpath generation have been greatly simplified here. Super user-friendly even for first-time beginners. I don't consider myself a pro CNC operator, but with this TF500, I was able to create some of the most intricate parts right off the bat, like this precision impaler, my custom mini sculpture bust, and various precision mechanical fittings. Recently, I was invited by Topfab to get exclusive hands-on access to this full spec prototype, test its real performance, and check the story behind this brand. Let's get started. Alright, so this is how it looks currently. As I mentioned earlier, it's just a prototype, so its current design isn't final. They are still continuously iterating and improving it. Later on, I'll walk you through its evolution from the first generation up to this current version. So first up, the protective cover will come with multiple colors, and for my video shooting, I will use the transparent one for better demonstration. Now lift it open. These are all the core parts. The spindle here rated up to 60,000 RPM. 60,000 RPM, oh my god. And here is the 3D camera, which is used for obtaining the workpiece information, like the coordinates, those I will show that shortly. Also, we have a monitoring camera, so you can know the status of your workpiece remotely. And here is one of the most important designs, which is the tool magazine. It houses 8 tools, and it supports automatic tool changing. I will show that in a bit. Stay tuned for that. Here the A axis and the C axis, right? Moving on, this is the chip collection bin. One thing I really don't like is this dust shield, which looks a little bit cheap and baggy, sagging like my belly. But no worries about it, they will redesign it. Don't pay too much mind to it. And that's everything here. And now move to, which I personally think is the most important part, is like maybe the Ivo moment for the CNC industry. Because for those traditional 3-axis or 5-axis machines, you can see all those hand wheels, you can see those buttons, physical buttons, and even the knobs, Those are completely gone and replaced by this touch screen. And it's actually quite intuitive. Let me just show you. Alright, so this is the main interface. Here we can see different information like this spinner speed. You can adjust it by tapping it. Feed rate. You can see it's quite intuitive and responsive, right? For a touch screen, that's a good experience. And with the basic information like temperature, the tilt angles for different axes, the voltage, power, all this information. And here is the menu bar, start, reset, and jog. When you press jog, you see all these buttons, all those hand wheels, you don't have to do it manually. And here you can adjust the axis position by using the plus or minus icon. Yeah, once you reach the limit, it will give you a warning, so no worries about it. Like a Z axis, right? Y, X, also reach the limit. And that's it. And here, clamp, which to clamp and unclamp the tool and just take it out. And when you want to install it manually, just insert, press. Super sturdy. Next, I have the tool magazine slide out. Unlike tool magazines on conventional CNC machines, which require you to load each cutter into its designated slot, this model automatically identifies tools with no such manual positioning needed. Like I said, beginner friendly. And now we can turn on or off the light here, and down here is the information of all the tools, and here the settings. This is the alarm count. Alright, that's it. That's basically what the touch screen is all about. Alright, so that's basically the design. I think this TF500 5-axis machine is the most compact and lightweight I've ever used. Weighing only 75 kilograms, 2 people can effortlessly lift and set it onto a regular workbench. It features a futuristic, tech-forward, and minimalist design. It's nothing like bulky traditional CNC machines that look intimidating at first glance. It packs 4 professional 5-axis machine performance into the benchtop footprint, serving as both a high-performance production tool and a sleek piece of industrial equipment for your workspace. Alright, before we get to the real machining performance, let's talk a little bit more about the software. I know how much of a pain it is when it comes to CNC machining, 3D modeling, toolpath generation. These are all major pain points. I won't be able to go through every detail here since, again, the engineers are still working around the clock to finalize the software. But after using to create a few projects, what really impressed me is the AI feature. I know the term AI gets thrown around a lot these days, but in this case, the AI on the TF500 is another level. For example, to create a miniature sculpture bust, I simply took a photo of myself, uploaded it into the software, clicked generate model, and within a few minutes, the 3D model was automatically generated. Next step, you select the dimensions, and you'll see the 3D scanning preview interface. Then you click Generate Solution, which basically creates the toolpath. Here you can choose the material and the machining mode. In my case, I select rough plus finish for the workpiece. For the roughing and finishing parameters, normally you don't even need to adjust anything, you just generate. After a few minutes, mine took about 5 minutes, here the toolpath is produced. It generates 8 different toolpath strategies. When you click on any of them, you can drag the timeline slider and direct play the machine animation inside preview window to visualize the entire process. And finally, you can save or export the G-code, the language the CNC machine understands. And then you're ready to go. And no, this looks a bit surreal, because for traditional CNC machines, all these steps require tremendous amount of time, expertise, and a steep learning curve. Here you can achieve all of this with basically the touch of a button. Of course, I know some people might say, okay, this mini bust model is relatively simple for CNC machining. Is it possible for the machine to handle more complex, high precision parts like an impaler or CV joints? Well, I want to say you can fully rely on the current version of Topfab software for that level of engineering complexity. On one hand, extremely complex models are usually highly customized. Neither AI-generated models nor automatic generated toolpaths are capable of consistently achieving that level of precision. No AI can redo that yet. However, what I do find interesting is that the software offers a huge number of free, artistic, and surprisingly complex models for download and machining. Like this 4-cylinder locomotive engine. Honestly, I'd probably just try it for fun and machine as a decorative piece for my desk. Speaking of which, you can even upload your own models, either for free or potentially sell them within the community. To me, Topfab is doing more than just offering a CNC software tool. They're trying to build a creative ecosystem where people can interact, share, and create together. In addition to the AI model maker, the software also offers features like photo to relief, trading cards, and custom bookmarks. I personally really like the relief feature because in the past I could only achieve something like this through laser engraving, and it would take 4 days to complete. Now I can get similar results in just 1 or 2 hours. Anyway, that's it. Overall, it provides a one-stop AI CNC intelligent machining service. Now, let's move on to the real CNC machining. For this part, I'll show you the on-site machining footage so you can see exactly what the machine is doing at each step. 3D camera scanning, automatic tool changing, even the noise level. Everything included. Now with the workpiece installed, let me show you how this 3D camera scanning works. So we press Program File, and we then choose M299, this command, and then we go back, and then we press Start. As you can see, the axis starts moving, rotates, and the 3D camera system will obtain the position, the dimension of the workpiece, so you don't have to manually adjust it and input it to the software. And that's it. And then you can see here, cycle time is 14 seconds. Just 14 seconds. It's done all the work for you. And one interesting thing about this 3D camera is that even when your workpiece is installed crooked, it will give you a prompt so you can refill it, readjust it. But here's the question, how do I know if it's measured correctly? How about the accuracy? For this, you can run another program to double check it. We go to Program File and choose 1001, start it. And if we find the tool is centered on the workpiece, that means it's perfectly aligned. And we can start roughing. And that is roughing. Next up is precision finishing. But before that, I'd like to show you the automatic tool change, which is one of the highlights of the TF500. Watch as the tool magazine slides out, the spindle returns the used tool, picks up a new one, completes tool setting. Yeah, that's it. And the magazine will just retract. Then moves on to precision finishing. Zero manual input required. Super straightforward. Alright, that's it. Let's just check out the results. Alright, so this is how it looks after precision finishing. Oh my god, it's insane. Just look at the details. Just check out the hair. Every single hair strand on top comes out crystal clear. Of course, the hair might be AI generated. Wish I had that thick hair myself, but it speaks volume about the machining quality. Especially, you can even see the polo collar here, crystal clear. And what's more, pay close attention to the grooves around the arm. You could never put this off with regular 3-axis machines, right? To check out the back, and you can even see the fabric creases, right? It just looks so natural. Wow, what do you think about it? Whoa! And this is how it looks after precision finishing. And look at those smooth, flawless blade surfaces and perfect consistent curves. Every curve, every detail is fully dialed in after finishing. And that's exactly the point. For the previous minibus, a traditional 3-axis machine must be able to handle parts of it, but for something like this impaler, most of it simply wouldn't be possible because of those head angles, extreme curvature, and deep undercuts. This kind of geometry can really only be achieved through a true 5-axis linkage system like the TF500. The tool can continuously tilt and rotate while moving along the surface of the part, which allows to cut all these complex curves and finish the entire piece in a single setup. No repositioning, no flipping the workpiece, and no compromise in precision. And if you're wondering about other materials, I also tried brass for this World Cup trophy. Cristiano Ronaldo would definitely approve. The curves and fine details on the trophy came out extremely smooth and high detailed. I also tested other materials like epoxy board and hardwoods such as pitchwood, among others. Honestly, the results were pretty impressive across the board. So overall, after spending a few days with the Topfab TF500 prototype, although it's still in a prototype stage, I found it surprisingly stable and already very close to a production-ready product. Normally, developing a CNC machine like this requires extremely strong engineering capability and significant manufacturing resources. And yes, Topfab is not a small startup or a garage workshop. It's actually a publicly listed manufacturing technology company specializing in advanced 5-axis CNC machining solutions. I was invited to take a quick visit to the factory, and I was genuinely blown away by these massive industrial 5-axis machines. These systems are widely used in aerospace. Oh my god, so that is the aircraft skin. Have you seen it? This is the window, you see? The window, the door. Oh my god, this is so thin. And it's made of aluminum lithium alloy. It made me scared of flying next time now. Rocket manufacturing, automotive, and medical industries, where the precision requirements are honestly on another level. We're talking about tolerances and accuracy standards that are almost extreme. So it's reassuring to know that Topfab is not random building consumer hardware from scratch. They are actually leveraging decades of industrial manufacturing expertise and potentially bringing some of that technology down into a desktop system like the TF500. In the studio, I also saw the very first generation of the TF500. You could still see all the buttons, knobs, and physical controls. It looked much closer to a mini industrial machine at that stage. What impressed me most was just how much they managed to reduce the machine size and weight over time. The original prototype weighed around 189 kilograms, while the current version comes in at just 75 kilograms. The machine itself measures only 600 by 500 by 500 millimeters, taking less space than a typical office desk. It doesn't require a dedicated workshop or factory floor and can be operated directly in an office, studio, or even at home. Despite that massive production, Topfab says the machine maintains the same level of precision and performance. Essentially, what they've done is take a full-scale industrial 5-axis CNC system and continuously refine, optimize, and miniature it into a compact desktop form factor. The result is the much more streamlined TF500 you see today, without sacrificing the core machining capabilities that make 5-axis CNCs so powerful. And check out this production line! Components go through sequential assembly all the way from raw parts to finished 5-axis tool mill machines before delivery. The entire production process is done right here. That's the production line for industrial-grade 5-axis machines. Of course, you might be more curious about the TF500 specifically, but when I was filming this visit, it was still on active refinement. So if you are interested in the behind-the-scenes R&D process and how the TF500 evolved, let me know in the comments. I can share more in a follow-up video. So moving on to my final verdict, I think the Topfab TF500 is one of the most ambitious desktop CNC projects I've seen in recent years. It's not just about fitting 5-axis system into a compact form factor, it's really about trying to simplify CNC machining for everyday users. What stands out most is AI-driven workflow. Instead of going through traditional CAD, CAM, and toolpath setup, you can go from a simple photo to a 3D model and machining path in just a few steps. That's a huge reduction in complexity, especially for beginners and creators. Of course, this doesn't replace professional CAD, CAM workflows for highly precision critical engineering parts, but for prototyping, education, creative projects, and hobby use, it feels genuinely accessible. So if you're looking to get into CNC machining but always feel it was too complex or too technical, the TF500 definitely lowers the barrier quite a bit. Combined with its compact design for 5-axis capability, it's shaping up to be a very interesting entry into the consumer CNC space. And if you want to learn more about the device, feel free to check out the link in the description. Thanks for watching, I'm Sami, see you in the next one. Bye bye.